So in this video, we will learn about the default sizes and values of arrays. We cannot limit the size of an array to a fixed number of elements. However, when we set the default values of an array control, we can set the default size. We set the default values and array size when we create the array control. So let's make these values default. So if we later add more values, or we save and reload the VI, the default values are retained. The same can be achieved by invoking the command reinitialize to default values. You will see that the extra values are removed. Do not make the default size of an array larger than necessary. If we set a large default size for an array, the default data for each element of the array saves with the VI and increases the size of the VI on disk. As you can see here. Configuring an array control for use in a VI. The VI will remain broken until we assign a data type by placing a control or indicator in the array shell. As you can see, the color is black, which means it is undefined and the VI is broken. Control contains no element and is undefined. The control has no elements, so its type is undefined. Place the control you want inside it. So after placing the control, the VI is now runnable. When we place a control or indicator in the array shell, the empty array assumes the data type of the control or indicator. After we assign a data type to an array, we can use it in a VI regardless of whether the array is empty. The length of the empty array is 0, and the array, we might place an empty array in a top level VI that calls a subVI to populate the array. Default value types of an array. A front panel array control has two default values. Default value for undefined elements. This value is the value of the array when the VI is loaded and is similar to the default value of any other front panel control. The values of the elements in the array compose the default value. The default array value also provides subVIs with the value when the calling VI does not specify a value for the array. How do we set it? As I had shown you previously, by setting the default values on the array itself, not the elements individually. The second type of default value is default value for undefined elements. This value is used to pad the array when the array expands. For example, if we set the array index beyond the defined portion of the array, and enter a value for an undefined element, the elements between the defined portion of the array and the new elements we define are set to the default value for undefined elements. So let's set this element as the default value. Now if we enter a value here, let's enter 9. Watch what happens to these in between elements which I have not defined yet. As soon as I click, the default, the value that we have set for default for the elements is now inserted.